Cannabis, THC, Hemp Oil by Mark Sircus, July 2017, from the Dr. Sircus website. More and more people are wondering where they can safely buy cannabis oil with THC. Understandable, because this age-old home remedy can help tremendously in numerous disorders, including cancer. Moreover, contrary to most regular medicines, it has little to no unpleasant side effects. The Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, admits in their 2017 Drugs of Abuse Resource Guide that no one has ever died from marijuana overdose, but it still will not remove the substance from its list of Schedule I drugs, the same classification as heroin. The United States government has trouble being reasonable about anything these days, and its attitudes towards marijuana demonstrates this clearly. Despite its relative safety, marijuana remains one of the most strictly prohibited drugs in the country under federal law, even as increasing numbers of states have moved towards legalization. The Food and Drug Administration and DEA classify it as a Schedule I substance, meaning there's a high potential for abuse, no currently accepted medical use and treatment, and a lack of accepted safety for use under medical supervision. The only adverse effect can be a stoned feeling, but that only happens when you smoke it or use too much orally at once, not if you take it as a suppository. Eating organic marijuana raw also does not get one stoned because it is not THC. You are ingesting THCA. THC is one of the most beneficial of the known cannabinoids. Through cannabinol, CBD, gives it a run for the money as a healing agent. Demand for the cannabis oil is rising, yet in pharmacies it is almost impossible to get. In July of 2017, the FBI arrested once trusted doctors, pharmacists, and other medical professionals who were corrupted by greed. These people inflicted a special kind of damage, but this is only the tip of the iceberg of a vast killing machine that modern medicine has become. These arrests were in part about the opioid epidemic. But what do we expect from a government that still prefers patients be denied much safer pain medication? This is an excellent video with real people who will tell you about marijuana, the wonder drug, and put down on our planet for good people where governments are bad for people, something they prove over and over to be. The video is called The Sacred Plant, Healing Secrets Exposed. Episode 1, The Sacred Plant Revealed. In Indian pharmacopoeia, all parts of the plant are denoted as somewhat narcotic. The most powerful narcotic in the plant's resin, charas. But different parts of the plant can also stimulate digestion, act as analgesics, nervous system stimulants, and can have sedative, spasmolytic, diuretic, and aphrodisiac actions. The plant is, according to Ayurvedic basic energy, virya, differentiation, warming, and its long-term use dries up the body. With moderate use, it works fast as a nervous system stimulant and powerful aphrodisiac. Later, its action is sedating. Habitual prolonged use of cannabis leads towards misbalances of all three basic physiological forces in the body, as Ayurveda recognizes them: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And as the result of this misbalance, chronically poor digestion, melancholy, sexual impotence might occur. For patients, especially in Europe, who need cannabis oil, where there is a website, one can find helpful people who are in contact with several private oil makers who produce organic hemp oil. They do not do this to get rich, but to help patients who really need it. If you fill out their form, they will forward your request to them. Unlike other hemp oil makers who often try to profit from scarcity of THC oil and charge up to €100 for a small bottle of the 5 milliliters, the oil makers in their database try to provide it at a very reasonable cost, about a quarter of that price. They only work with people who manufacture their oil organically. They all have the quality of their oil tested by professional labs on a regular basis. THC Oil Manual. How do I use cannabis oil with THC? Start with 1 drop under the tongue. Try not to swallow it, but if it does happen, it is not a problem. Usually the mouth will absorb the drop within a few minutes. Then daily increase the dose until you achieve the right effect. For a successful approach to healing cancer, you should go for the maximum dose of cannabis oil with THC. For other conditions, often a lesser dose will be sufficient. You cannot take an overdose of cannabis oil, so you can experiment yourself with what dose works best for you. If you reach your limit with the THC at most, you will feel some tingling in your hands and feet, dry mouth, and/or experience a warm feeling. That is the beginning of getting high if you have never gotten high before. These side effects usually disappear quickly and the body will adjust within a few days or weeks. You can also take THC oil as a suppository, for example, mixed with stearin or cocoa butter. Stearin is Stearin, if you want to look that up. The high will be experienced much less or not at all this way. You can make the suppositories yourself or order them at some of our cannabis oil producers. Usually, a combination of THC and CBD oil works best. The dose differs per person. For some, 1 drop per day is sufficient to feel better. Others need 20. Please note that today most producers are diluting the concentration of THC because pure hemp oil can be very sticky and thus harder to take, so doses have to be graded upward. The original recommendations from Rick Simpson was 1 gram a day of a highly concentrated hemp oil for cancer patients. Listen to your body. During the treatment, rely on yourself. Your body usually knows what it needs. Thank you for tuning in to the Plain Mundane Show. Please hit like and subscribe, ring for notifications. I'm Alex Aquarius.